Hi, I'm T.P. McAtamney. I'm author of the book, My Waffles Are Cold, A Man's Guide to Abusive Women. On today's segment, we're going to talk a little bit about a subject I cover in the book, and that's how our mind controls our emotions, and that's how it determines how we act. Now, this is really Psychology 101. It's covered in psychology. It's basically how our cognitive behavioral mechanism works. And in looking at it in the book, what I describe is how it works in the honeymoon stage, the devalue stage, and even in the discard stage, or even if you were the one that left. In the honeymoon stage, you remember the narcissist or abuser comes in with all flowers and rainbows and unicorns and tells you that you're the best thing since buttered toast. You're the most handsome, you're the guy she's looked for all her life, and she gets this stuff comes into your mind and you're believing it. You've never heard anything like that. At least you don't remember hearing anything like that. And it makes you feel what? It makes you feel good. And it makes you float on air. This person is so into me. I can't believe it. How lucky have I gotten? And then soon after that honeymoon stage, they abruptly just turn on the dime and start devaluing you. They do this almost when they know they've got you hooked. Right at the point they got you believing what they're saying in the honeymoon stage, they know they got you psychologically. And when they switch to the devalue stage, just like you did in the honeymoon stage, you begin to doubt what's going on as far as your relationship with the narcissist. You must be doing something wrong. What happened to the honeymoon? I was the greatest thing since buttered toast. Now I'm an idiot. And this continues for a period of time to reinforce those ideas in your head, and they make you feel like crap, your emotions, and they can affect the way you act in a way that, for instance, not being able to function at the job, not being able to function, on any basis or any level at all. In my case, it was abuse of alcohol, and for the first time in a 40-year career, getting fired from a job. In fact, 2 more after that. I could simply not function with this, with the thoughts I had going through my head, and my focus continually on this abuser all day long. And as I described before, a lot of that focus is really just trying to get back to the honeymoon stage. You just assume that everything the narcissist is saying is true and it's all your fault. Somehow you change, somehow you're the one that needs help, and you believe this hook, line, and sinker. And even into the discard phase, when they finally dump on you and say, I'm leaving you forever, or just go silent and disappear, you wonder what's wrong with you, and going to be devastating, absolutely devastating. 'Cause again, you went from the heights of love to the bottom pit of being discarded. Unless you're the one that gets some kind of awareness, and that's the only time it happens, and you discard them yourself. You walk away before the discard. But that's more than enough times. It's the abuser doing the discarding, because they have this whole thing programmed. They're experts. You weren't the first, you won't be the last. So they know how to manipulate your thinking to get you feeling in a certain way, and to get you acting up, so they can go, see, he is the nuts. He is the guy that's doesn't have it all together. And just look at his actions. And a lot of the things I went through during the discard phase seemed self-inflicted, and indeed were self-inflicted, but they were self-inflicted because of how I was feeling and how I was thinking. I honestly did not know what was going on. And this behavioral matrix, what I call it, is your mind controls your emotion and directs your will. Now, you can see this in everyday life. That's why people go to scary movies. It would be no fun if you didn't get scared. Or why are you scared? You're just watching a movie on a screen. But if you go to the movie, before you know it, you're up on the screen. I ask people all the time, I said, if you're watching a movie like The Ring or some other scary movie, and I ask them, where are you at? No, of course I'm in a theater. I said, no, where are you at mentally? Oh, I'm up there on the screen with the girl climbing out of the TV screen, or coming out of the well. And that's what makes the movie kind of fun. And if it gets scary enough, you start reacting physically, like running out of the theater. Or even having, behavioral issues even after watching a movie. Some people have watched really scary movies, and I was reading a story about a gentleman in India had a heart attack watching one of these movies. Now, why is that? Because he saw the images on the screen, he started thinking scary thoughts, his emotions reacted, went right over to his will, and his body reacted. And see, this is some of the damage that the narcissist or other abuser can do to you physically because your body doesn't know the difference in this kind of thing. You know, in the stress reaction, as I said before, your body doesn't really know the difference between real and not real. It's simply going to react to what you think is real and what you feel is real. And all those ancient biological processes of rapid heartbeat and other biological things taking place in your body are going to react just like the dangers in front of you. And that's also part of the narcissist plan. That's how they destroy you. And they got this game down. Like I said, they got this game down from the first person they took over and abused, all the way to you, all the way to one they're probably abusing right now, likely the person they left you for. People always ask, you know, I wonder if they've gone on to somebody else. Yes, they're trying to kill him too. So you don't have to feel alone in this. But it's important to understand this principle as soon as possible, because once you understand what's going on and you understand what their game is, you can be able to check their, you know, what they're saying against what is really true. And I always suggest to people, what you do is you get out like a piece of paper. Now let's say you're in the relationship still, but you've been watching some videos on narcissism and other abusers, borderlines, whatever. And this is generally more true of the narcissist and the borderline. You know, you get abuse from all the cluster Bs, but generally more to the narcissist. The narcissist, like I said in my narcissism versus cluster Bs, or rather borderline, is the narcissist comes in for blood. They're not looking for romance. They're not looking to fall in love with you. They don't love you. Borderlines generally come in what they really think is love, and then just get disenchanted later on, when you know, because nobody can meet the idea they have. So just to clarify, we're really kind of talking about the narcissist. If you take out a piece of paper and you draw some columns, you know, say 3 columns, and on one column you write down some of the things. First column you write down some of the things they've told you. Okay, you're ugly, or you're stupid. Let's try that one. If you're stupid. And then the next column is, how do I feel about that? And then the next column is, why? And then write out a 4th column that's just kind of like a narrative column that says, why do I feel this way? Why am I feeling this way? Am I stupid? And you might say, well, yeah, I got in this relationship. But aside from that, am I really that stupid? Was I that stupid before the narcissist? Am I an accomplished? I was an accomplished professional in information technology. Stupid people don't get into that job. I have a lot of education in different areas. You're not well-rounded. Like I said, I used to speak around the country. I've accomplished a lot of things. And am I stupid? Well, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not stupid. And you begin to flesh it out and find out, why are they telling me this? They got to have a reason. And the reason is they have a pathological issue that's how they work, is to destroy you. So you check it off and you go, not true. You know, if they say, you know, you're a creep. Am I a creep? Why am I feeling this way? Because they told me I'm a creep? Actually, they're the ones that creep. You know, but now they're calling me a creep. Am I a cheater? They ask, or they'd say, you're a cheater. Do I cheat? If the answer is no, why am I feeling like a cheater? Actually, they're the ones that cheat. So what you do is you begin to challenge these thoughts that you're having based upon where you're getting them from. And you're getting them from, you know, bad information. Just like in a movie theater. If you got too scared in the movie theater, when you get home, you write out, you know, it was a scary movie, okay, and I feel scared. Why? Well, I watched some images on the screen and I put myself in it emotionally, and now I feel scared, and I'm still having some problems sleeping. Well, why? I used to do the same thing with people I counseled on insomnia. A lot of times insomnia isn't due to a physical issue, it's due to a mental issue. Something's bothering you. Okay, what's bothering you? Why can't you sleep? Work it out on paper. Get out a piece of paper and start working out whatever is bothering you. You know, I think I'm going to get fired from my job. Why you think you're going to get, do you have any evidence to that? Not really. You know, the thing that ties off of this is called catastrophic thinking. It's taking a little small thought that you have and turning it into the worst case scenario, and you have no evidence it's going to happen. And, you know, once, like I said, once the narcissist, you're in the discard phase, they know you're fearing, or sorry, the devalue stage, they know you're fearing the discard. They know it. They know it. Because that's, you know, most of what you're doing with these abusers, and especially narcissists, is you're trying to pedal back. Because you actually fell for the narcissist. Your emotions were real at that period. It was great. And you're trying to get back to that. You're trying, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? You know, if you want to ask a narcissist a really pointless question, ask them, you know, how can I do better? You'll never get an answer for that. They don't want you to do better. But what can I change? They don't want you to do that. They want you right where they got you. Find another reason, guys. And they got you there so they can whack you around, and they don't want you to get better. They definitely don't want to be found out what they're doing. So if you even find out that, you know, they are maybe a possibility of a narcissist, you bring that up and it's hell to pay. Yeah, I'm not a narcissist, you're the narcissist. Well, you know, this is the game they play. So in order to really help you get out of these relationships quickly and with your mind and halfway intact and your emotions and, you know, your physical well-being, you need to get hip to the game they're playing. You need to find out why you need to find out all about narcissism you can. Know that I'm telling you right now, it's a game they're playing. They never loved you. They were never into you from day one. They just come to get your stuff. My narcissist got all my stuff. And when she couldn't get on her own, she got me to give it away to her because we can be manipulated. But I thought I was being nice. You know, I look back and I said I shouldn't have given her a damn thing. I was actually just trying to be so nice that she would come back into my arms and realize she was wrong. And, you know, $6,000 later, nothing like that happened. So, you know, once you get hip to the games, you learn the game, you learn what they're playing on you, and you learn how they're doing it, you'll begin to make the move to either cut the relationship, or if they've already discarded you, be able to start healing a lot faster. I'm TP McAtamney, author of My Waffles Are Cold, A Man's Guide to Abusive Women. I thank you for joining me on this video. I have another one up just as soon as possible. Thank you.